All right.
It is a circus. So let's get to a couple things before we get to the playoff games, the ever exciting playoff games we had. One, I want to get your thought on that happened when you were gone. Another one, breaking night right now. First one is Cam Ward. Cam Ward played to beat the touchdown record and then shut it down in the middle of the game. And everyone's saying this should hurt his draft, not status, but the question should be there in the draft process. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, disagree. All right. Now, if the guy got a DUI and crashed into a school bus, yeah, you know what? That's going to hurt your draft stock. Listen, we're living in an era where you're lucky the guy even played the 2 quarters. It is meaningless. These are business decisions, and I no longer care. Now, would I rather he just not play at all? Well, sure. But I'm not gonna harpoon the kid because he pulled the plug at halftime. I don't care enough. No, I'd still draft him number 1 overall. Wait, I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Michael.
I felt very sincere.
Maybe you can get this guy later in the draft because within the last hour, he has declared for the draft. Jalen Milroe.
What draft? Canada?
He's declared for the NFL draft. What is he thinking?
I'm going to tell you, he's getting the worst advice on the planet. First of all, that wasn't Jalen Milroe yesterday. That was some form of body double. Like he's going to unzip himself like at the end of a Scooby-Doo episode, and it's going to be the old farmer. I'm sorry. He was never a fit for DeBoer's offense. There are now 3 occasions against Tennessee, against Oklahoma, against Michigan, where he has looked lost, can't process, can't make throws. And by the way, where was the velocity on the football? He was throwing lollipops. Look, maybe a second-round pick in my world, and that would be on projection alone, that if you think he's some form of government cheese Josh Allen, that you could take the physical specimen and you could mold it and shape it and go, look, we're going to throw 33% of your passes at or behind the line of scrimmage, and the rest are going to be YOLO balls supported by a really strong ground game. Maybe. David, that is I'm in shock. Because to me, he'd get the better part of $3 million to transfer, go be someone else's QB next year, make money, rehab himself, and give it another shot.
Yeah, this is surprising because of that reasoning. When you're getting paid in college football, you don't have to go to the pros now to say, now I want to get paid. You're getting paid.
Wow.
Makes no sense to me. So let's get to the ever-exciting college football playoff games. And let's start with the Penn State game. Penn State beat Boise State 31-14.
And it wasn't that close.
And sure, it got to 3 points in the third quarter, but it really wasn't that close. It was a turnover in the red zone for Boise State, then a missed field goal. Boise couldn't run the ball. Genty only had 104 yards rushing on 30 carries.
David, why do you think I kept citing the 4 or 5 Boise games I watch where it's 17-13 in Laramie and they can't run the ball and they can't score? Maddox Madsen is not good. Boise was a fun story, but how long was I supposed to hold on to one magical afternoon in week 2 of the season 4 months ago against Oregon? A game they lost, by the way. It was a joke. I mean, Aller had a horrendous turnover on like his own 10-yard line. There's a free 7. Other than that, Penn State dominated the game. And they stink too. But hey, listen, here you go. You gave Cinderella her shot. There you go.
Very exciting. The next one, let's go over Ohio State and Oregon. This was supposed to be a heavyweight matchup. But, oh, my Lord. Let me just go through a few
things. You
hate
to see it. Cookies and I went head-to-head on this game.
Woo,
I had OSU. He had Oregon. You got all mad at me?
Okay.
Whoops.
Well, Ohio State had 500 yards. Oregon had 276.
Can we launch a criminal investigation into how OSU lost to Michigan?
We should.
Can someone explain? Every other game, Ryan Day and Chip Kelly are just cutting it loose. Whee! Oh, wait, we're playing Michigan. Hey, coach, let's find out how big our chance is. There has to be an investigation. It's not the same team.
See, I was going to get to that because when you look at 8.8 yards per play versus, it's like they just fold. They just completely fold when Michigan shows up.
When Michigan comes to town, they want to show how big their penis is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We're going to run the ball. It's toughness and things and 10-year war. No, it's not. You have better players. Play.
In the first 21 minutes of this game, Ohio State had 347 yards, 31 points. Oregon had 66 yards.
And I think they're going to beat Texas.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think Vegas put them out there as a 6-point favorite on accident. You know, the sleeping giant has woken up. And as long as they keep cutting it loose, and defensively, look, I understand you can't say nice things about OSU up here, but defensively, they've put it together.
Correct.
They're getting disruptive in the front seven.
Correct.
Jack Sawyer knocks down 7 balls a game, and Caleb Downs is Earl Thomas 2.0, hopefully with better personal and financial decisions. Caleb Downs is a center fielder. He's playing backyard football, and he's everywhere.
And I will say this, and I hope someone sends this to him. I will pay your legal fees, Jeremiah Smith, if you want to fight the NFL and go now.
No.
You are him, man. You are him.
He's phenomenal, but he's still a kid. By the time he leaves school, he's going to look like DK Metcalf.
Yes, for sure.
6'3", 223, and it's his first year in college?
Yes.
Oh, just wait for another year of training table. That dude is a freak.
So let's get to that Texas game. Texas beat Arizona State in double overtime, 39-31.
Yeah, right.
They Texas was outgained 303-139 in the first 3 quarters, but they led 24-8.
It was gross.
And here's the comeback. It was all Cam Scatterboo because he threw for a 42-yard touchdown pass, caught a 62-yarder, setting up his touchdown run to tie up the game.
You know,
all him.
And I finally figured out why he always was shaking his helmet. Like he would run and he'd be like, ah! And I'm like, does this kid have like OCD or something? Is there something wrong with Cam Scatterbo? Every time he runs the ball and he's like, ah, shaking his head. It turns out it started out when he was a little kid. His helmet would stick to his head and he couldn't stand the feeling.
He's trying to loosen, yeah.
So, and then it developed into an OCD thing where if the helmet was even a quarter inch off, he can't have it. He can't take a hand off. So he like shakes his head so he feels like the helmet is where it needs to be. I know, no one cares. Look, I hate Quinn Ewers. That's the takeaway. Quinn Ewers has to stay in school.
Now, that's another one you would be shocked at if he says, I'm declaring for the NFL draft. That would be the next one, right?
David, you can have him.
He can't do it.
What would you say, 3rd, 4th round pick?
Right now, I would say 4th round pick, yes.
Can't do it.
Wow.
Texas, I just don't think they're that good. How can you say that? Well, I'll tell you how. Look at who they beat this year. Look, they didn't play that tough of a schedule. They didn't. And the one big game they had, they got housed, and their fans got all angry and threw water bottles on the field. I think OSU is going to drop a bomb on them. I still don't trust. Like, Sark is Day is Sark. Big spots. I find both these guys hard to trust. But I'm putting my faith in Will Howard. Famous last words.
It's crazy because you got guys you don't trust and Franklin still alive in the playoffs.
You mean big game, James?
Oh, my Lord.
2 straight playoff wins against garbage.
This is going to be a fun semifinal.
Yeah, right.
Great. And that is your college football blitz.